Hello everyone, this is Frank Demora with the Last Chronicles of Planet Earth. And if you just found my YouTube channel, I'd like to invite you to go to my prophecy site, which you see up here, BibleProphecyMan.com. And when you're there, you can download my book, my documentary on Bible prophecy and current events called The Last Chronicles of Planet Earth, for free. Now I wanted to take this special time to go over some news that just broke, and I believe that this news is pointing to two wars that haven't been fulfilled yet. Now I have spoken about this quite a few times in my YouTube channel and also at my website, but because of the nature of these two prophecies which have not yet been fulfilled, I wanted to bring this news to your attention, and hopefully for the new people of Bible prophecy be able to connect the dots for you so that you'll know what is coming by the signs that we're currently seeing, because since the Lord warned us about these two wars in the future and they haven't been fulfilled yet, it's important for us to keep on the watch and to look for these very nations who are listed in these prophecies to watch what's going on, because then you will know how close we are to see the Lord's return. Now, of course, the prophecies that I'm talking about, there's two wars, one of which is the Psalm 83 war, of which you see a photo here, and I listed every one of the nations that will be involved in this war against Israel, right? Now, the second war is the Ezekiel 38 war. Now, this war will happen after the Psalm 83 war, and there is a difference, because these nations in the Psalm 83 war are the nations that border Israel. These nations from the Ezekiel 38 war and 39 that describes that war, they're the nations that do not border Israel. This war, the Ezekiel war, will be led by Russia, and Iran will be a major ally that will unite with Russia and many of the other Islamic nations to try to wipe Israel out. But when you read Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39, you'll find out that Israel will not be wiped out. As a matter of fact, God will come to their aid and they will win this war just the same way as they're about to get ready to win the Psalm 83 war. So at least now you'll know what the wars are, who will be involved in these wars, and for a complete look, you can download my book, The Last Chronicles of Planet Earth, and read the chapter on the attack on Israel, because I give you in detail all the news concerning these two wars and what's happening to show us that they're about to be fought soon. Now, if you're at my YouTube channel, you'd be able to go to my website and please listen to the news that just broke from CNN about the possible attack against Iran by Israel that they believe that's going to take place in the spring. Now, in many of my posts and many of my videos, I have warned that a possible attack where Israel would come down and hit the nuclear power plants to take out Iran's nuclear weapons that they are trying to get, and trying to build nuclear bombs to destroy Israel, that there would be a backlash. And I've been warning, if you go to my site or you do Google, I've been warning for some time now that a backlash could be that the nations that are closest to Israel, which are all the nations that are in a Psalm 83, might see what Israel did to Iran, and they would come as brothers, Arab brothers, with Iran. They would see what happened, and then they would start to attack Israel, which could launch the Psalm 83 war. Now, in this article that just came out at February the 2nd, of which when you go to my website, you'll see this the link there so you can get the full report. But in the report, one of the things that I wanted to show you that makes the connection between what will happen or what possibly could happen when Israel attacks Iran. You'll see this in this report. So let me just cover that part. And again, you could read the entire article by going to my site and clicking to that link. It says, moreover, according to the Israeli estimates, Iran has hundreds of the Shahab missiles capable of striking Israel. And along with Syria, keep in mind, Syria is one of the nations that are mentioned in the Psalm 83 war. Along with Syria, Iran has provided Hezbollah, and please keep in mind again that the Hezbollah is also one of the peoples mentioned in Psalm 83. Hezbollah with an almost unfathomable arsenal of more than 50,000 rockets designed precisely for this scenario. So the scenario that they are talking about is the same scenario that I've been warning about. An attack against Iran would launch, as you see here, the nation Syria. You see the Hezbollah in Lebanon, all right? Some of those nations that are mentioned in the Psalm 83 war. So let me continue, because I think that this is a very possible, viable scenario, which can blanket all of Israel from Lebanon. In other words, they would shoot off these thousands of missiles from the north of Israel into Israel. It says there is no reason to believe that Hezbollah will not use this arsenal. During the 2006 Lebanon war, Hezbollah fired 4,000 rockets at Israel, about one-third of its 13,000 missile arsenal at the time. If it were to employ a similar ratio today, it could be far larger. The results would cause a level of destruction Israel has never before experienced. Now, Hamas is another one of those people that are also seen in Psalm 83, so pay attention to this. It says Hamas too has a large rocket arsenal in waiting, but just thousands. Moreover, the destabilization of the regimes, and get this now, Egypt is also one of the names or nations listed in the Psalm 83, as well as Syria. Following the Arab Spring greatly increases the dangers that they too might be drawn into the confrontation. All right? So you have the warning here, or the possibility in this article, that the very nations that God told us would be coming against Israel in Psalm 83 look like that this what may happen, or at least it's the possible scenario. It says Syria, because it may have an interest in deflecting domestic unrest by focusing public attention on an external enemy. Egypt, because the new Islamic-based government will, at very best, be far less committed to peace with Israel. Now remember, this brings to mind what Paul the Apostle told us in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. He told us, when they're calling for peace and safety, then sudden destruction will come upon them as a woman travailed with child. So we see that the birth pangs of the peace process have been going on for some time. And we know that Egypt is turned into Islamic state based under the Muslim Brotherhood now, because they just won the elections. So you see how everything is falling in place for the next war. And to finish, it says, an explosion of popular fury in the Egyptian and Arab street may force it to act. In other words, the uprising that is taking place in these Arab nations, and the possibility that Israel may attack, could launch these same nations to strike out at Israel. Now, let me just tell you what will happen, because most of the news sources that I'm reading, obviously they don't know the word of the Lord, and they don't know the outcome of these wars. But when you read Psalm 83, and you also read Ezekiel chapter 38, you will learn that Israel will not be destroyed. We know from Psalm 83 that one of the reasons why all of these nations come together and counsel together with themselves is they're coming into an agreement to say that they're going to destroy Israel, so that their name isn't even mentioned anymore. And we know that Israel, as in the Ezekiel war as well, that war will take place for the destruction of Israel, but that war also will end up being victorious for Israel because God will be watching over Israel. Now, Israel may take a hit, but they will not be destroyed, and they will immediately, if this is the case, if this is the scenario, and these people in the Hezbollah and all these other different nations, you'll see the Arabs, the Egypt, and all these other nations that are mentioned, if they do take arms against Israel because of what happened and the attack of Iran, then this war will take place. It could take place this spring. Now, as far as Leon Panetta talking about when Israel is going to strike, I think that it's kind of ridiculous that one of the leading men in the Obama administration would pinpoint the very time that Israel would strike Iran. And in any case, it may be disinformation because Israel would not want to announce when they would be making an attack, because this would give time for Iran to set up and to watch out for the attack. So I think the possibility of it taking place when Leon Panetta said it will not take place. So this is something that we should watch for, because I believe that they could strike at any time. So the bottom line is this: we are seeing events that are leading to both of these wars. Now, when you see these wars, in conclusion here, you will know that you have very little time before the 7-year tribulation begins, because these wars are wars that are very, very close, showing us that the Lord is about ready to come back for the church, the rapture of the church, and that could happen at any time. There isn't anything stopping the Lord from coming back today, tomorrow, or at any other time. So you need to be ready for the Lord now. And I'm praying that the work that I'm doing for Christ will help you to make the decision, or at least see what is happening, so that if you refuse the gospel now in the free gift of salvation, that later you'll remember what you saw, and then you will receive Christ as your personal Savior. And please let other people know about the site, and let them also know that they can download the book, the documentary, today.